Hello everyone, hope you're all doing well. Well, tonight I want to touch on a topic that is probably dear to everyone's heart, and that is how to be able to find that balance and usual happiness that you used to enjoy before your breakup and or before you even met your ex. So either way, it works. In order to do that, here's a short discussion that you can ponder on it yourself. You see, most of you are looking for happiness, which means you're looking to see that one thing that brings you that happiness that you are looking for, that you used to have at one point in your time, whether it was before the breakup, before meeting your ex, or however it was. But you're looking for one thing, and you're searching for what is that one thing? What are the things that I can do that brings me happiness? And you try to imagine what it could be. Is it in a project? Is it in creating something? Is it in I don't know, a venture for more financial success? Is it for education? Is it in education? What is it? What is that one thing? That's what you're focusing. You're focusing on what will bring you happiness, and you're focusing on something that will do that. An adventure, a vacation, I don't know, daredevil thing, whatever it is. So you're looking for that, what brings you happiness. What I'm suggesting to you is that that's not where the happiness is. We've talked about where happiness is in other videos, and I don't want to get into those. Those stand on their own. But this here, I want to suggest to you that don't look for something that you think will be responsible or induces that happiness in you. Instead, look for giving occupation to your brain. Because brain finds its balance and security in order. And to get the order, it needs to be occupied, fully focused, paying full attention in some mindful exercises or projects or effort that you're making. So instead of looking for things, look for what fuels that, whatever that thing is, to become a source of happiness. What fuels it is the occupation of the brain. Fully focused, paying attention, attentive to that effort that you're making is what brings the brain from the past memories, or in the memory that it tries to find its security and order in what things are recorded in the memory, how things used to be. When it's not available at the present moment, it goes into the memory. Or when it doesn't find that in the present moment, it goes and starts dreaming up or conjuring up things which could be fears of the future. How am I going to combat that? Then it goes into that projection to the future and tries to find remedies for problems and challenges that hasn't even happened yet, but you conjured it up because fear and anxiety creates all those concerns. And then you're coming back into the present moment, having figured out how you're going to handle a problem that hasn't happened in the future, and you occupy yourself with that, which, because there is no real problem happening, it is conjured up for a future time sometime, and that future time that you're thinking that whatever it's going to happen hasn't even come around, let alone the thing that you're worried about could happen. And then you have that certain kind of an application or a remedy figured out for that fictitious thing, but yet because that thing hasn't happened, because the time that it's supposed to be happening in it, or you're fearful of it, is not even here. So your remedy cannot be applied, even though you might have figured it out. How am I going to combat that, or prevent that, or face with that? And because you can't apply it, you won't get the feedback and result to see that it worked, and therefore the threat is gone, even the threat that it hasn't even been created. But this is how the brain works. It goes on, tries to become fearful of things and try to prevent things and to protect you and all that, or it goes in the past and tries to find something, to find order in it and secure itself. Either way, wherever it goes because there's nothing here. It's like you're at a table and there's no food in front of you. You keep looking at the other tables that they have food on it. Either that table there or that table there, because there's nothing here. If it was, you'd be fully focused here and your attention would be here and you wouldn't be distracted. Same thing with the brain. When the brain doesn't have what it needs in front of it to be occupied with, to find that order and that security in the occupation, therefore it keeps going to the memory or in the future, and it's distracted and it loses its balance. Why? Because we are all fragmented. There are many different things, and the fragments in our psyche, with all the different kind of inputs in it. And you try to find, how do I know I'm fragmented? Like, how do I know that this business of being fragmented is true? Well, you won't notice it until there is a conflict. When there is a conflict, that conflict is between what's out there and you, the relationship between your inner values and whatever the situation is out there. And since there would be a conflict with what's presented out there or what's threatening or shows up with your values and what you would consider safety, then that fragmentation, then because of the conflict, there would be an awareness. The awareness of the conflict shows you that you're fragmented. And the fact that you are uncomfortable after your relationship, it shows you that something is not balanced. There's an awareness in you that tells you something is not balanced. That awareness is talking about you having realized a conflict between how you want your life to be and how it used to be, and the fact that it's not the way it used to be, so there is a change. There is something that is not balanced anymore. Because it's not balanced, you feel the awareness, because naturally we have a certain equilibrium, we have a certain system that recognizes that homeostasis has been achieved. In other words, everything is balanced. When it's not, then awareness is created because there's a conflict between what you expect and what your values are, what you want, and what is out there, or what is facing you, what is threatening you, either in the way of actuality or in the way of thought. So either way, the awareness comes and tells you that there's something wrong. And that something wrong shows itself when you are least occupied, because then your brain focuses on things that are not supposed to be around you, whether it's physically around you or mentally. So what you need to do is to focus, to bring occupation to your brain. Therefore, through the occupation, brain finds its focus and no longer distracted by going in the memory or projecting something in future or paying attention to intrusive thoughts or whatever it is that is occupying your mind, but it doesn't have any positive reaction that comes with it. It's like spinning your wheels, but there's nothing really to create. The efforts of that process would not lead into anything positive that you want to accomplish. Therefore, for happiness, try to focus on finding things that brings occupation, fully focus attention to the efforts that you're making to the brain. Occupation to the brain brings comfort and relaxation and security to the brain. That's where the happiness is. Not in the memory and the problems and troubles, and not in things you conjure up in the future, try to avoid that and prevent it, and not in finding a project or a thing or a house or a car or a vacation or whatever it is, activity. It's in finding small occupations in the moment of life, in the now moments for the brain. So whatever it is that you're doing, do it with mindfulness, so the brain would find its focus, and through that focus, which is occupation, through the efforts that you're making to do something, whatever it is you're doing, it finds its order. Through that, it finds its security and safety, through which it finds its balance and tranquility, which is that state of homeostasis or the happiness that you're looking for. So happiness is not in things, happiness is in the balance of the mind, and that is in the mindful exercise of occupying your mind, your brain, with positive things, that as little as they may be, but it's something that your mind can get focused on it and find value in it to be fully focused. Whether it's for your health, whatever it is that you're doing, do it with full attention. That occupation brings that balance. And these new little accomplishments paves the way for you to believe that that streak of not being happy is not permanent, and it doesn't have to be that way. That you are capable of being happy, because see, these little things made me happy, as small as it may be. Something that allows you to be joyful or jubilant for that very moment. Those accumulative moments that you've been doing small things that makes you happy, even if it's just a little piece of chocolate from childhood and you found it somewhere, find things that are very small and attainable that brings back to you that confidence that it's possible to be happy. And when these add up, it rearranges your conditioning from I'm really good at being unhappy to I actually can be something else other than unhappy. And then eventually you become really good to be happy, because that becomes your new conditioning. So you create a new rewiring, and through again new way of doing your rituals or things that makes you happy, you create a neuroplasticity. How I can be happy, and I know how to be happy, and I will be happy, and then automatically you will be happy as you've been automatically unhappy for the past 9 months or a year. So it's all about reconditioning yourself. And when you do that, you will find that you don't have to search for happiness. You can find happiness in everything. Right now, at the moment, you're trying to find something that it will have happiness in it. But what I'm trying to ask you is to recondition yourself so you can find happiness in everything that you find, within reasons. Normal, balanced things, things that are pleasant, or you know what I'm trying to say. So instead of looking for something that has happiness in it or brings happiness to you, be able to find happiness in everything that is out there that you experience through your day, as much as possible. Having said that, you will end up with a mentality that is positive in finding happiness and is actually expert in finding things that brings you happiness and joy. And that would be the foundation of what it is that you're looking for, which is happiness. I hope that was something helpful to you, and you'll ponder on it, and I'll talk to you soon.